Premiership Rugby, folks. Newcastle, 30 points to 15 winners over Bristol. We'll go through some key events and stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. It was a bit of a question mark as to where these teams at. Are Newcastle going to struggle like they did at the end of last season? Are Bristol, deserving of their spot on the log? Well, Newcastle played really well, and Bristol, albeit without a few of their big guns, they didn't quite look deserving of their early season spot on the log anyway. But you guys can let us know your thoughts. I mean, Luatua, Pietau, Ranrada, Genge, like a bunch of guys out from the Bristol squad, but I don't want to take anything away from Newcastle because, man, they had some really good shifts. I mean, Mateo Carreras is a pretty special player. Bags a couple of tries, man of the match and whatnot. But anyway, Bristol, I thought, both sides, to be honest, dropped a fair bit of ball at the start, but especially Bristol. I feel like Sinclair, who's usually, pretty good in terms of ball and hand stuff for a prop, he shelled a couple. And McGinty, though, he looked pretty sharp. He was able to take the ball to the line, get some good go forward, which was encouraging. I guess that's, why you signed that guy, because he's a nice attacking 10. He goes close himself. But Bristol ended up getting the first points of the game through his boot rather than any try. So 3-0 lead. But, Newcastle's Argentinian players, their contingent are looking pretty good. All Argentinian midfield plus Carreras out on the left wing. From a centre field scrum, which I think was initially set up by the field position came from Orlando and Moroni combining. Centre field scrum. Bold play from Newcastle. They shift the ball wide and Mateo Carreras gets his first try of the game. Missed the conversion. Schoolman didn't have his best day with the boot, but 5 points to 3. Home crowd getting into the game as they get in front. And then it gets worse for Bristol because Ed Holmes, the lock, with a big old late tackle, he sees yellow. So Newcastle, I guess, going for the jugular, and why not? With the extra man, they opt for touch, and with McGuigan's rate of scoring from mauls, I guess why wouldn't you? But it's not McGuigan that gets the try; it's Collett, who just manages to find the maul. Just kind of disintegrates from a Bristol point of view, and he's just able to go straight through. Another misconversion though, kind of an easier kick that one, but still 10 points to 3. And then before half time, McGuigan does get on the board because what would a Newcastle game be without McGuigan getting on the board? Newcastle scrum in front. They opt for touch. The yellow card was over, but the maul doesn't go over directly, but a few phases later, McGuigan's able to dot it down. So 17-3 at half time. It's pretty dominant on the scoreboard. Possession and territory is a bit of a split, with Newcastle having the territory but not the possession. Turnovers conceded as 7-9, so Newcastle was 7. That's pretty high for one half of rugby, to be fair. Penalty count is 4 apiece. But second half, Bristol seem to have a bit of wake up, don't they? Because Newcastle start conceding penalties like crazy. It's just penalty conceded, Bristol tap, and then a penalty conceded, and then Bristol tap. It must happen 3 times before Collett gets the first yellow card. Bristol tap again. Carreras has to stop a cross kick, which is looking pretty dangerous, but maybe in the scheme of things, it's better if they score there, Bristol, because then Newcastle's able to exit the field with still 14 guys on the field. But nope, they keep giving away penalties. It's offsides. They get a second yellow card. And when it's 15-13, Bristol are finally able to find the space, as well they should. Purdy gets the first one. It'll be coming for a long time. It's a wide, a bit of wide play, which is what you should be doing when you got 2-man advantage. But a misconversion means it's 17-8. And then not Newcastle, Bristol, a little bit lacking clinical edge during the double yellow. Like, they conceded at least one scrum penalty. They made up for it with a second scrum, but they conceded a scrum penalty somehow. And Bradbury just dropped one of the balls cold, when they needed to be clinical and absolutely punish. Not sure they didn't punish, because they still scored 12 points during the double yellow. Lane gets one. That's after the second scrum did go Bristol's way. Again, bunch of phases in it. It's coming. So 17-15, properly back to game on. 12 points conceded in the yellow. Pretty costly, but Newcastle come back to 15 players on the field. So easier for them to defend that way. They're actually able to get back in the game, because by that point, all the momentum's with Bristol. But Newcastle, to their credit, are able to really push back. Eventually win a penalty when they do get some momentum to at least make it 20 points to 15. So Bristol are going to have to score a try if they want to go in front. And just some key plays from the Newcastle guys, man. I mean, the fullback, Tom Penny, he wins a breakdown penalty to stop the pushback from Bristol. I thought that was kind of a key momentum stopper anyway. 75 minutes, Newcastle did miss a penalty, which would have made it an 8-point game. But then because it bounced off the post, they were able to attack from close range anyway, and they win another penalty. So that one they do kick pretty much, not quite straight up in front, but pretty close to it. So 23-15, it's pretty much game. And then Newcastle to chase the bonus point, and they get the thing, man. Like, it's real helter-skelter towards the end. I mean, Bristol are trying to get back into losing bonus point range. Newcastle are chasing the 4-try bonus point, so it is really helter-skelter, both sides. But then the try, if you want to watch any try this week, watch the Mateo Carreras final try of this game. Like, he's got wheels and the steps, man. He makes guys look sick. It's unbelievable. So the wheels, the steps, the bonus point. And 30 points to 15. So it ends up looking a wee bit of a hiding. Not quite a hiding, but, 15-point victory. Whereas, only 5 or 10 minutes earlier, Bristol could have gone in front if they'd managed to score a try. Possession and territory ends up edging Newcastle's way. Knock-ons, though, 11 by Bristol is too many. 8 by Newcastle, still not great. Clean breaks, 3-2 in Newcastle's favour, but 2 of those are Carreras himself. Penalties conceded as 14-12. Not the highest penalty count you ever see, but I feel like Newcastle certainly conceded a lot of them in a pretty short space of time. Carreras, like I mentioned, man of the match, 126 metres, 2 clean breaks, 3 defenders beaten, 2 tries. Orlando, 12 from 13 tackles in the midfield, not bad. McGinty, as I said, looked sharp, 47 metres, 6 defenders beaten. Heenan, 17 from 17 tackles in the back row. So, yeah, man, disappointing from Bristol. But Newcastle, man, what a way to reward your home fans, because, there were some pretty sweet ones. Bristol are home to Exeter next, which is looking like a pretty interesting one. I mean, I was thinking if Bristol won here, that'd be a real proper top of the table clash, but we'll have to see what happens with Exeter's game this weekend. And then Newcastle are home to Saracens, so it don't get any easier. But anyway, there you go. Good win from the Falcons, but disappointing from the Bears. You guys let us know your thoughts on the game. And, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.